Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
Starting to pick up.
Yep. Well, that'll be great on live, on a podcast.
Hey, we may lose one of these canopies. There it goes.
Oh, boy.
I knew that was going to happen.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah, you're live, Irma. Welcome. What's up, Irma? How you doing? We got you. Hey, we're tapped into your computer there too, where you work. We can actually see you on video. I hacked your computer. So beautiful earrings today, Irma. You're always beautiful. Very nice.
You're so silly.
Well, here we go. A little Monday fun day here on Good Morning Huntsville. We want to welcome you in. Thanks for joining us as always. A lot of great friends already chiming in this morning, and I've already got my little round to it. And I need to put this thing away, Karen, because all last week I was sitting here flipping this in my hand, so that's going to go over there.
You never got around to it, did you?
Never got around to it. And then there's that other terrible toy right there, those fidget spinners.
Oh, yeah.
People start bringing us these gifts, and I don't need them. Because then Billy was playing with that all day on Friday. Billy Cawthon was in here, and we just rambled on for an hour and 30 minutes, and we're like, we got to go. It's Friday. It's
I watched. Yeah, y'all have fun on Fridays.
It's time to vamonos, muchachos, and so we got out of there. But, well, friends, here we are. We're really excited to be back on a Monday. We hope all of you had a very wonderful and blessed weekend. As always, it's so much fun to be here with you every single weekday. Try to get started around 7. I actually got here at 6:20 this morning, but we were just a little, it's the cool weather. Kind of, things run a little sluggish when it's cooler outside. But we are happy to be here today. As always, big thank you to Elliot Herzlich of Elliot's Jewelers for all of your custom jewelry and new jewelry needs. Elliot can take care of you. Set up that appointment online at elliotsjewelers.com. Big thanks to Paul Oley of the Gallery as well for allowing us to be here next door to him and utilize this space. And, of course, on a Monday, we cannot be here without the financial experts of Huntsville, Texas. They're not a bank. They're a place that you can go. You're a friend when you walk in. They will get up and say hi to you. They won't lock the door and turn down the blinds. And that is our friends at Walker County Federal Credit Union. So good to see you, Karen.
Yeah, good morning. Mimosa Monday.
Mimosa Monday, that's right. It was supposed to be Motivational Monday. And then
I changed it.
Karen said, forget this. We are changing it to Mimosa Monday. And we still don't have them yet. So anybody feel free to drive by. I know we're on Spirit Radio, but there's nothing wrong with a little mimosa here and there. So
absolutely.
In the mornings, whenever we've joked around and asked people, like, man, I sure wish we had some tacos this morning. Or sure wish we had some candy, Clay. Or
some cookies.
Man, every time we've done that, the good Lord has put that in somebody's mind to just drive on by and deliver. Mm-hmm. And so I mean, what do you kind of think? What do you kind
I'm
of
still holding out for Irma. You know, she usually makes it by about 10 till.
Yeah, man, I'm sure hoping Irma drives by today. When she does, I'm going to get our little remote cell camera ready today, so maybe I can capture her. It's usually like 7:55 or so, but we have a special guest here today, so she may be a lot earlier going by today, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Irma, you know, we love you. We're just joking around with you this morning. As we get started today, let us know what you're thankful for. I just like popped my ears because my ears felt like they were like, it's like you're on an airplane. Have you ever had that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
I'll be on an airplane October 25th. I'm out of here for 7 days.
You told me where you were going. It's just terrible that you have to go to these places, Karen.
I know. It is. Going to Cozumel for 7 nights, 8 days. I'm ready.
Yeah, that is so just horrible. I cannot believe, Huntsville, you're just leaving us in Huntsville to go to this Cozumel place. It just sounds terrible. It's always storming there. It's super cold, always snowing.
Mm-hmm. I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, I know. It definitely won't be like that at all. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. I was asking you. We always talk, off camera before we get started, and usually during Sundays for you, it's like pool days. But is that
done?
The
pool is too cold. It's done.
It's over with.
It's over.
So what happens? I've never asked you this question, Karen. Now that we know like about the pool parties, in the summer and kind of as you lean into fall, what goes on Sundays whenever that's over? I mean, besides going to Cozumel.
Well, normally we do a Sunday fun day or something like that, but this weekend I didn't do anything. I got organized, and so then I sat out on the back porch with my neighbors, and they brought their TV out, and so we watched the Astros. And
oh man, I
was a little disappointed. But that's okay. They got 6 more.
I put on my Astros Hustletown shirt. Bridget and I went a couple years ago and during a playoff game, and so I bought a shirt and I found it. I was like, man, I didn't even know I had this thing. So I was digging through, kind of like you were organizing stuff.
Yes.
I was disorganizing. I was digging through trying to find stuff, and I found that shirt and I put it on. And though, the moment that I put that on, I said, man, this is just going to jinx it. And those Rangers came out just hot, and we had moments where bases were loaded. You have an opportunity to where you think, okay, man, we're just going to have this grand slam, or we're going to walk this thing off in the 9th.
It didn't happen.
And little Altuve, my buddy, it's like 0 for 4. That's good, though, because when he's 0 for 4, that means it's time to open the door this afternoon.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll win today.
I think what we need to do today, especially in this area, bosses out there, be a little lenient. And let's say at noon today, just shut everything down.
Yep. Bring in some snacks, some drinks.
Even better, go ahead and purchase some sweet tickets down at Minute Maid, and just invite all your employees down there to the game, and let's just all head down there. Turn the lights off here in Huntsville today.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, because the game's at 2:30, I think.
3:30.
Yeah,
3:30.
So bosses, show Employee Appreciation Day in Huntsville. All you gotta do is turn your business, just close it up. Nobody's gonna be here anyways.
Right, they'll all be watching the game, so.
It's like
might as well.
It's like this lady, Sweet Brown, said back in the day. If you look it up on YouTube, just type in Sweet Brown bronchitis and you'll see the video. Ain't nobody got time for that. So ain't nobody got time to be here in Huntsville today. We're just leaving. We're going to the game. So, friends, I know, all joking aside, going to be a special show today. We are very excited to have our friend Diana McRae joining us. She is the Walker County Tax Assessor-Collector, and we'll be talking a little elections things today as well, and appreciate Karen for inviting Diana in. In fact, I knew the name, but I've never met Diana until the past couple of weekends ago or so. So it's very nice to have her in studio. We'll have her joining us here in just a few moments. We do not have the keyword set up yet, but we will have it set up in a few moments. We're not going to have the graphic ready today, so you're just going to have to listen. And you know what? I feel like being generous today, and I decided, today's going to be one of those $25.
All right.
I don't want to say make you holla, because you know how they say $25 make you holla? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, it'll take more than $25 for me. Just saying.
But that'll get you a nice.
Right.
Hey, if you're,
get you started.
I'm not knocking California. I'm not. I got friends from there. I just say if you come into an area, just make sure you learn the culture. That's all I'm going to say in a polite way. But did you know that they have passed a minimum wage law? I didn't know. I thought it was like a federal thing, but I guess the states can overrun this. They have passed a minimum wage law for fast food workers in Cali now. $20 an hour minimum wage, and I think that goes into effect next year. So if you're traveling, not only are you going to have that nice $6 a gallon gas when you get over there, But now, friends, for all of you McDonald lovers, boy, how about that nice $25 Big Mac? I cannot wait. And they're taking away one of the patties probably too.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like a single Big Mac. It's just going to be 2 pieces of bread, then the patty, and then another piece of bread. So you're not even going to get the second meat. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and probably a little bitty order of fries.
Yeah.
A large will probably be a small. Yeah.
Premium
That figures.
beef. Premium beef is what it's called over there. And my goodness, let's don't pass those laws here. You know, I understand people need to make a living, but the way to make a living is you can't raise up minimum wages too high, because then the price of everything else just goes up. So to me, it's just kind of common sense. You know, I don't get political on the show, but I just think about things and I'm like, if you raise the price of things, don't that make everything else go up too?
Right.
It's like if I gave you if we gave everybody in Huntsville $1 million, we'd all be happy for like the first month, but then everything else around here, all of a sudden houses are going to go up to $2 or $3 million.
Right.
So anyways, let us know what you're thankful for today. We're going to throw all the rest of that to the side. Enjoy your $25 hamburgers if you go over to that lovely state to the west. But let us know what you're thankful for today. Keyword is coming in. I know I'm talking fast. What did we think of it? It was...
well, thanks to Diana. She came up with the word, and it is crisp.
That is going to be the keyword today. Don't text it in yet because I don't have it set up. But you know what? I'm going to set that up after national news and some of our wonderful sponsors here. So we'll keep things rocking and rolling here with the beautiful Miss Karen Denman this morning. Diana McRae joining us when we come back. Stay with us. A lot happening as we continue to highlight and promote the good happening here in our community. We'll be right back after this.
USA News, I'm Lance Pry. Our Secretary of State will return to Tel Aviv today and continue his mission. Anthony Blinken made stops in Egypt and Jordan over the weekend to urge Arab nations to work together and keep the conflict from expanding and to seek a location for Gaza refugees. Speaking in Cairo yesterday, Blinken said he's making clear the United States stands with Israel while calling for additional aid to deal with the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Senator Lindsey Graham is warning Iran not to get involved in the war between Israel and Hamas. The South Carolina Republican says he plans to introduce a Senate resolution that would allow the United States to deploy troops to join Israel to knock Iran out of the oil business. Graham also relayed concerns about Hezbollah involvement from Lebanon on Israel's northern border. He said that more than 90% of the funding for Hamas and Hezbollah comes from Iran. A vote for new Speaker of the House is expected tomorrow. House Democrat Whip Catherine Clark said the vote for Representative Jim Jordan will happen, but it's unclear if Jordan will gather enough votes to secure his position. While the GOP holds a slight majority in the House, only 4 votes can be lost for Jordan to take the gavel. The vote took place after Jordan secured the nomination on Friday, with the total coming up short of the 217 needed. A stabbing in Chicago Saturday that killed a 6-year-old boy and injured his mother is being called a hate crime. The family's landlord is being charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and 2 counts of a hate crime. Evidence gathered suggests the family was targeted due to their Islamic faith and the Israel-Hamas war. The suspect was taken into custody and is awaiting a court appearance. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you listening. We are USA News.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firms online at CordellCordell.com. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. Online at CordellCordell.com. CordellCordell.com.
Omaha Steaks Burger Perfection Flight, made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks, rewrites the book on burgers. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout for an extra $20 off your order, plus free shipping when you order the $79.99 Burger Perfection Flight. A fantastic array of pure ground steak on a bun burger greatness. For $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight, use promo code TREAT at checkout at omahasteaks.com and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
There's a place in Huntsville and now in Conroe where you're more than a customer, you're part of the family. A place where style meets comfort and every visit feels like a treat. Welcome to the Color Bar Hair Salon. From the moment you walk in, our friendly stylists work to create a look that's perfect for you. Whether it's a fresh cut, a vibrant new color, or a blowout for that special occasion, at the Color Bar, we've got you covered. We pride ourselves on creating an environment where our guests can relax, enjoy a beverage, and let us do the pampering. We use top-notch products like Kevin Murphy and even offer hair extensions for those looking to add a little extra flair. And when it's got to be perfect, we ensure you leave looking and feeling your best self. But don't just take our word for it. Book a reservation or buy a gift card online and experience it firsthand. Visit us online at colorbartx.com and discover why at the Color Bar Hair Salon you get an experience that goes beyond. The Color Bar, where you belong. See you soon.
When you live and work in the town where you were born and raised, lots of people become just like family. I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Over the years, we've shared a lot of good times and some tough times, and I'm honored to be the one you call on in your time of need. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our goal is to help our neighbors in need and always provide the most outstanding service available, even on those really tough days. I thank you for your trust in us. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we're here.
Hey friends, Rob Hip here. As a guy, jewelry's not really my thing. I never know what I'm looking for. I feel uncomfortable, and I just don't understand how certain things look good together. But that's why I depend on Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers. Whenever Bridget and I wanted to get engaged, we said, we need to go to a place to where someone's going to take care of us. They're going to make me feel comfortable as a guy, but they're also going to take care of her needs as well. So I went into Elliot's, and he was so gracious and compassionate with my understanding, and I wanted something that looked a little masculine for my engagement band, and he said, I've got the perfect thing for you. And he found some white hammered gold that was trimmed in 14 karat gold, also put a diamond on that ring to signify my love for Bridget, and as we grow and our family grows, we can put a diamond around the rest of those. So friends, if you're looking for someone that is dedicated to customer service, that understands the needs of people and does what's right all the time, there's nobody better than my friend. It's Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers. Visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com. All right, Huntsville, welcome back in. Thanks for joining us. It is your show. I think, the other week somebody came up and said, Rob, I really like your show. I said, it ain't my show. We're just here having fun is all that we do. And if it was my show, no one would listen. And so that's why we're great to have Walker County Federal Credit Union and Karen Denman here with us on Mondays, and we appreciate their generous support. We wouldn't have been able to get this platform off our feet. I think today is actually episode 130 already, and we would not be able to do the show without our Foundation 5, and the big thanks to Walker County Federal Credit Union for being here with us since the start, and here we are. Golly, has it already been like 7 months?
Doesn't seem like it.
No, it does not. And we've already been back in Huntsville now as long as we were gone in Fargo. And I just can't fathom that. That whole 8-9 month journey was like this weird blur. And when it's 30 below, of course, everything is a blur. Mm-hmm. It's really slow. So, but we're glad to be back and now joined by a good friend, Diana McRae. Thanks for joining us, Diana.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so good to have you on this morning. And Karen had sent me a message, hey, we're going to get Diana on. And so you're here today, and we're just going to be talking about great things happening in our community. And this is a position for you that you've held, since 2008. Is that right?
That was my election, so I started January 2009. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful pleasure.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Pleasure to serve.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's one of those things, too. What I love about this community, Diana, is there's just so many great people and so many good things that happen here in Huntsville. And for me, as a quote-unquote outsider coming in, 4 years ago, I really felt this warm embracement of Huntsville. And I know that you weren't born here, but you've been here since 6th grade. Right. I mean, what has this community meant to you, and really what have you seen, over such a great time here in Huntsville?
Wow.
Well, not that great, because you're only 21, by the way.
Right,
so, yeah.
Right. That takes me way back. Well, I mean, growing up here, I really can't. At the time I graduated from high school and attended SAM, I could see myself possibly, you know how it is when you're in high school. You can see yourself moving on somewhere else. But honestly, I married my high school sweetheart, and when we got married and had kids and built a house and settled down, you just look back and you think, I can't really see myself anywhere else. I really, even after I retire someday, I can't see myself really moving anywhere else. So we'll see what the future holds. But for now, you're stuck with me.
Yeah, well, I think it's fun to hear that, because so many folks when they're younger, it's like me. I grew up in Georgetown, and we're thankful to be here. We came here obviously for an opportunity in broadcasting previously with Sam Houston and Huntsville ISD, which was a lot of fun. But it's so neat how like God calls you to different areas, and then you look back on it, and you're like, oh, that's why I really came. Right. And it's neat because when you're growing up, you just said it perfectly. It's when you're in your own hometown, you're like, I can't wait to get out of here. And then you may leave for a short moment, and then you realize, oh, man, maybe I need to come back. For me, Huntsville's our hometown now. We went to Fargo, and I was like, wait a minute. Maybe we need to come back to Huntsville.
It's too cold.
Yeah. So you mentioned Sam, too. Right. I always like to make that Sam Houston connection because obviously one of our biggest employers here in this county continues to grow, 22,000 students. And what was that journey? Let us know a little bit about your Sam Houston journey.
Well, I'll be honest with you. It was brief, but I actually went ahead and I did in Sam, but then I went into insurance and got my agent's license. So I kind of moved on fairly quickly into the professional world. I always saw myself as a professional. It's really sad, but as a young girl, I always saw myself, growing up, going into the office at a tall skyscraper with my briefcase and my suit on. That was just my vision. So I've got a 2-story building right down the street, and I carry my briefcase or my bag in, and that's about it. But no, I love Sam Houston. My daughter graduated from there, my oldest. She's now in Denver, but yeah, she loved her experience there. Graduating it was awesome. So we're proud that she's a Bearcat.
Well, Karen, I know one of the biggest reasons you wanted to have Diana come in today is just to talk a little bit about elections. So maybe I'll let you kind of lead that conversation if that's okay.
Yeah, I had been on a pool weekend, of course. Irma and I were talking, and I said, hey, I wonder if, you could come in or if Diana could come in, somebody come in and talk about, how people can register and when the voting starts, because a lot of people just don't know. Right. So I wanted to have Diana here to kind of give us a rundown and explain all that for people who aren't registered to vote, to let them know what they can do and where they can go and what they need to do and what time it starts and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of give us the rundown on all that, Diana.
Sounds good. Well, for this November 7th election, I'm sad to say if you're not registered, you've now passed the deadline. That was October the 10th. You can still come into the annex and register to vote and get ready for the next upcoming election, which will be the primaries. So it's never too late to register, but for this election, it would be too late. We do have a lot of things going on in the city, especially with their ballot. They have like a 6-page ballot, so if you haven't seen it yet, it is very lengthy, and this is just one of them. It's double-sided.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty big.
Is it okay if we show this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this one.
That's precinct 401, and it is also, I think, Ward 4. But there are 32 different ballot styles this election. So we encourage you to contact the voter registration office, 936-436-4959. Please call and get your ballot style. And then you can go online to, of course, the county's website, to the current elections tab, or you can go to any of the entities that are on the ballot, such as the city of Huntsville. You can go to the school district. I'm sure they have those posted as well. But you really won't know which, let's say 401, there's 2. You won't know which one until you know which ballot style, because there's so many splits with the wards and other things that are going on in the community, especially like in New Waverly. I believe it's 205 now is split, which is Elkins Lake. It's now split with two different ballots as well. So I really recommend calling our office. And then you can go to any entity. You can also go to the party chairs, Republican and Democrat. They also have those sample ballots. Or just come into the annex and come by and just pick one out. So you can print one out or pick one out. But the election is November the 7th. Early voting begins October the 23rd through November the 3rd. It will be at the Walker County Storm Shelter. All voting will be there. There will be 2 12-hour days, which will be November the 2nd on a Thursday and then November the 3rd on a Friday. So that 2-week period, the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, will be 12-hour days. As far as voting by mail, if you're over 65, if you have a disability, or if you're going to be away from the county, you actually can vote by mail. We encourage that. There is a deadline to apply, which is going to be Friday, October the 27th. So things are fast approaching for this election.
Boy, they're moving quick again. Diana
And also,
McRae joining
don't you
us.
recommend too that maybe they should where they can go to see the sample ballot, because there's a lot of stuff on here, and this is just the first page of 4, and so you're not there all day long. You can kind of read it and get a good understanding of what the propositions are. So if you have questions, you can call and find that out, because that some of them just seem kind of confusing. So
it's really different this time is the city has decided, of course, to make some charter amendments. And so you may have the state's constitutional amendments and have 14 of those, but you have 24, if you live in the city, 24 charter amendments. And they are lengthy. So I definitely recommend doing your research. As far as my office goes, we're not allowed to actually explain an amendment to you or a proposition.
Right.
We can only read ballot language because we're nonpartisan and we just put the ballot together. But you definitely can reach out either to the city or to the Secretary of State's office and see what information they have to help you make your decision, because I know a lot of times that verbiage is,
kind of
attorney driven.
Right.
So
kind of
you're not
confusing
sure.
and wordy.
Yeah,
and
if you vote for, you're not really sure. Are you voting for it or against it?
Right.
So it is definitely something we recommend is do your research before you go in, because it is lengthy and it may take you a while to vote. And the other thing is we're all countywide. So even if you are in New Waverly, there are people that may just be driving by and just they're heading out of town. They just stop in at the New Waverly poll place, and they're in the city of Huntsville. So they're going to be looking at, in addition to the 14 amendments, they're going to be looking at another 24 charter amendments. But the beauty of our machines is you don't have to vote for everything. You can if you want to, or you can skip. Or you can just say, you know what, I'm not ready for this. I'm going to turn my ballot back in and come back later once I research it.
You can do like Sweet Brown. Ain't nobody got time for this
That's
right now. And
this is going to take some time, especially if you don't understand it.
Well, and the language on these, I did see it, and luckily here I haven't seen it. I voted here obviously a couple times in the past, but at least it doesn't say something like, if you're not for this, that's the language. It's like, well, and I've seen that before, like, wait a minute, I don't understand. And this was back in Williamson County, and the election officials there, just like you said, they're not going to explain what that actual item is. They're just going to read the ballot language. So I was like, what does this mean if I'm not for the approval of that? I was like, I don't understand this. And so they kind of helped me through that process. Right. Ours aren't that confusing, thankfully. So,
right. And I think that's the other thing too is that my office, believe me, Irma included, she would love to explain it to you. She'd love to sit down for about 35 minutes.
Yes.
And go through each one. But if we do that, then we could possibly sway you one way or another, and that's one thing that we can't do. So we keep referring them to either the city, of course, or the SOS in this case. If it was, HSD, of course, we'd refer you to them as well. They can publish a lot of information that we can't, and we try not to, put that on our website because we try not to get involved in a lot of political stuff. We try to stay as neutral as possible. So I definitely recommend taking a look at your sample ballot, but you're going to have to call the office first and find out which one's yours because there's 32.
We put the link there for those of you that are on social media feeds. If you're on the Spirit Radio app this morning, super simple. Just go to co.walker.tx.us and you'll find the elections tab if you just click around through there. Again, www.co.walker.tx.us. I know that sounds long. Here's something simpler. Just go Google, type in Walker County, Texas elections, and it'll be the first result.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so that'll pop it up on there.
And I would say one other thing that's really good for voters in Texas is votetexas.gov. That is the Secretary of State's election division. They are, the Secretary of State is the election official for the state of Texas, and they put out a lot of great information, whether it's students, voters with disabilities, military and overseas. There's a lot of great information, so I definitely want to push votetexas.gov, which we have a link on our website to that as well, but that's a great place to go.
Well, I got to ask you again, Diana McRae joining us this morning. Appreciate Karen Denman for inviting Diana on. It's great to hear what's going on with our elections office and why it's so important. How did you, what inspired you to get into this role? This was 2008, 2009, correct?
Right.
What was kind of the inspiration that says, I want to do this?
Yeah. Well, Tom Cawthon, my predecessor, actually came to me and he said, nobody's running for my job and I'm retiring.
Cawthon, was it Billy's family?
I don't know.
Huh, we'll have to ask Billy.
So I think it's a different Cawthon, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of just said, you might think about it. And I said, Clint's really the only, politician in the family.
Mhm.
I'm really not interested. But he came back to me a couple months later and he said, are you sure? And so I started thinking about it. I said, you know what, Tom? Let me pray about it. I'll pray about that. And I did. And you know what the Lord does. He starts steering you. And so he did. And honestly, I remember just looking up and saying, I'm going to have to do this, aren't I? Because, I obey. So do the best I can. So I did. That's the reason why I ran, is because God led me in that direction. And, I obeyed him.
Yeah.
And all the doors started opening. And so I feel comfortable where I'm at. I know that I'm meant to be here. And I think you mentioned earlier before the show started, what's the best thing about your job? I love the people, but Election Day is one of my favorite days because I actually get out to the poll places and, nothing runs as smoothly as what you think. There's always going to be a computer that's got a problem. Something didn't change with daylight savings time. The time didn't change.
There were some Chad marks that didn't get punched out correctly.
No.
None of that.
No, but there's always something. You left out the I voted stickers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And everybody wants those.
Everybody.
So they can take a selfie.
Yeah. So anyhow, little things like that. But Election Day is really some of my funnest because I get to go to the poll place and really I see, candidates out with, by the street with their signs and stuff and, how they're hard working because, it's a hard job to get elected. Mm-hmm. And so running elections and getting to see it on my side actually overseeing elections, but then also knowing I've been a candidate before and how hard it is to run when you have an opponent. And it's hard to run when you don't have an opponent because honestly, every single day to me is an interview for the next day of your job. Every single day you work to just make people happy. This is what you're elected for. And so, you're on the job 24/7. But anyhow, Election Day is probably one of my funnest days.
That's great.
It's challenging, but it's rewarding.
I love how you said, the word run, and right as you said that, outside our studio window, there was a group, the cross country club was running. That was like perfect timing. I wish I would have had the camera set up.
And all they've got on is shorts. They've got to be cold.
Diane, I think the job that you have is incredible. You oversee a lot of different things. Besides the elections part, can you kind of give us maybe just a quick, brief summary of kind of your day-to-day and what that looks like as the tax assessor-collector here in the county?
So for the most part, I know I have that beautiful title of tax assessor collector. However, I actually don't oversee or collect or set a tax rate. I don't collect taxes or anything like that.
You're not knocking on doors.
No, I'm not coming to your house. You're not going to be arrested by me. However, we do collect taxes for the motor vehicle division, for the state of Texas. So when it comes to registering your vehicle, that definitely falls under me. We also register boat trailers. We don't actually do boats in our office, but we do the boat trailers because they're on our roadways. But also we collect for the alcohol permits that are here in Walker County. So we do collect taxes for that. In addition, we register all the voters in Texas. In the county. We have roughly about 36,000 now. And I wish there were more with our population of close to 78,000 people within the county. You would think we would have more registered voters, but I know that there's a lot of organizations that are pushing, to help us. We have a lot of volunteer deputies that help us go out and register voters. So that's been a very good program for us. But as far as it's basically vehicle registration, voter registration, and elections, and it's enough. It's definitely enough.
One thing I didn't ask you this before, so I hope I'm not kind of throwing one at you, but I heard some chatter, and maybe you know this, about vehicle inspections. Is that going away in the next year or so? Did I hear that correctly?
It is. I believe it's sometime in 2024 is the effective date of that. But yeah, it's going away.
Yeah, so I heard that.
So there was like a federal law years ago. Many states have dropped the federal law of inspections. The Texas has never done that. They have decided now that we no longer need a state inspection.
But you still have to pay for registration.
Yes. Now, some counties, if you're in an emissions county, you will still be required to do that. But yeah, so that started as a federal law. So until I really looked into it and started seeing, why would the state get rid of state inspections? Because for me, that makes our vehicles all safe on the roadway. But it started out federally, and now many states have let it go, and I guess the state has decided to let it go.
Yeah, we lived in
Just
Williamson
let it go.
County. Yeah, let it go, let it go. Hey, Oklahoma let it go a long time ago. Because I remember that was kind of a rhyme. Let it go a long time ago. I remember being up in Oklahoma one time, and one of my cousins was like, "Yeah, y'all Texans down there, I got to pay these extra fees. We don't." And I was like, "Okay, sure. We have a better state. It's on nice beaches and stuff. So keep your Oklahoma." Just kidding. I love Oklahoma, by the way. Good people up there. But it was. I was thinking about just, how important voting is. And that's another reason, I'm so thankful that Karen brought you in, because it does seem like, without getting political, there's been a lot going on in our country over the past, my goodness, I kind of go back to, honestly, to 2001. And it just seems like things, since that terrible day on September the 11th, it just seems like there's been this different mindset. There's really not a day that I wake up, and I was a senior in high school when that happened, but there's really not a day that goes by that I don't think about something about that day, which is strange. And here we are, my goodness, 22 years later. But it seems like since that day, and then, since 2008, 9, 10, and then especially over the last 4 to 5 years, that voting has really became a lot bigger of a deal, like it always should have been. Of course, we need a lot more people, but what have you seen, in your time, in your position with voter? Are we seeing more people turn out to the voting polls? And what can we do as citizens for us that do vote to encourage others? Because it's really important. Some people are like, well, my voice doesn't matter. Well, we saw what happened in the Bush election. The voices did matter,
Yes.
because I was joking about the Chads earlier. Well, it came down to the Chads, So it does matter.
It does matter. Totally matters. I think the main thing is that some of the things that we've seen, and it's really ironic, you see things in a presidential election that you don't probably always see in just a constitutional amendment election in odd years.
Right. People
But
think
in
it's more
even-
important to vote for the
yeah,
president than for your city
Exactly.
officials
so
and leaders.
In even years is your governor and your presidential elections. And we actually, in the voter registration office, will see people that are in like their 60s or 70s that are registering to vote for the first time in their life.
But that's great to see
It's
that, though.
great
Yeah.
to see it. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you live your life without having that voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how people do that, but we're seeing that more and more. I think it's wonderful that finally, even at that age, they haven't given up. They now know it's time to step up and go out and vote. So I think that's really important. I do have some concerns coming into 2024. I want everybody to know that our poll places are safe. But I do know that, tensions tend to rise whenever we are going into a presidential. So I do want people to just be mindful of that as we approach the 2024 elections, that, be patient. We all have, our political views, but we don't want those in the poll place.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really important, that we all feel safe and secure when we go vote in the poll place.
It's really good.
We've been very fortunate in Walker County to not have any incidents as far as any major fights and scuffles and things like that in the poll place. But you never know. So we just want people to, when they come into the poll place, just put your personal views behind, and just come on in and vote.
Do your voting and move on.
Move on and talk all you want.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good point to make, too, because we have gotten into this season, and I won't go on a political tangent because we don't do that here on the show, and I know that you don't do that either, Diana, but we have gotten to a point to where I think we've forgotten that we live in this beautiful country to where we have the freedom to vote and the freedom to choose who we want. And instead of attacking other people for their beliefs, let's celebrate the fact that, hey, we live in a country where if this guy wants to run for an office, he can run for an office. We may not agree with him. You know what? The good news is you don't have to vote for him.
Exactly.
You can vote for the other guy.
Exactly.
And I think that's where the despair, and me as a voter, and sometimes my political beliefs, I get this little tick in my head of like, oh, wait a minute. And I have to stop and say, you know what? This is what makes America great, because we all have an opportunity to vote for who we want, for folks that run in office. And I think that's maybe, we always try to have like a little inspirational message, and we never know what it's going to be, but maybe that's the message here on the show this morning, is just a reminder that put all the politics aside and remember, at the end of the day, all of us that are alive right now have a heart that's beating. And I think that's the thing that we need to look at. And I understand that there's issues and there's some things that it's like, man, I wish that this wasn't happening. And you know what? I agree with some of that. I really do. But I also believe and agree that we all have a heartbeat, and we're alive and breathing because our hearts are beating right now, and we all have that. And I think we need to go back to that root and just realize and be thankful that we live in a country that can celebrate the freedoms of voting. And that's why it's important. And so maybe there's a concern that you have. I always say this, if you're going to complain about it, go vote about it.
Exactly.
There's a lot of folks, and I learned this from city council members in Georgetown, because there was things that I was really upset about with the way our city was heading. But you know what? I wasn't going to the city council meetings. I wasn't giving my voice. I wasn't getting people behind me. And there was one big thing that started to happen where I did finally start going, because I learned the process. Mm-hmm. But I also learned to talk to people that were in political office. They're like, Rob, you never called me. Yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? You're right. I should have picked up the phone and called you. So
I think the other thing, too, is the fact that, when you run for office, you don't really realize what that position entails. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the tax assessor, whether it's the sheriff, whether
city council.
I can
testify
to that. You really don't
that.
realize what all you're about to, what you just signed up for. But with that being said, we're just human, and we're just doing the best job we can do. And most candidates go in with great intentions, and I have a good heart, and I'm an optimistic person, so I like to think that most candidates go in with a really good conscience, a really good platform. They really want to make a difference and want to make change. So always keep that in mind, though, because as I'm speaking here on camera, I've probably done this maybe 3 or 4 times in my life. I think at Sam Houston, I think they've interviewed me a few times, and there's a couple other times. But this is not comfortable, but at the same time, it's a great way to really get to the community and really get out there and get your voice heard, because there are so many things going on, not just in the city, in the county, but if you don't get out there and really, I guess, reach out for some information, learn about the community, because a lot of times, I know we've heard this before as candidates, they'll say, well, I haven't seen you around. Well, I mean, I'm working, I'm out talking.
Yeah.
But, they say, well, I haven't seen anything in the paper. Well, we do press releases. We do, radio releases. I've talked on the radio several times. And we do our best to get the word out. But, we do have a responsibility as a voter as well to learn what's going on and ask the questions and contact us. We're elected officials. We are available to you at all times, 24/7, whether you voted for us or not. Mm-hmm. We're here to represent all people. And so I encourage people to please call me. I had some. I spoke at an event last week, and I know since then I think it was a meet and greet for the city, and the Republicans put it on. But I came and talked about the elections and about the ballot and everything. And since then, I've had several people call wanting me to come and just talk about the elections because they don't really know. Mm-hmm. But my door is always open. My staff knows that if somebody wants to talk about our voting systems and how secure they are, please, let's talk about it, because I'm very comfortable with what we have. And while I've got this opportunity, just want to make sure everybody knows that in Texas, our voting equipment is not hooked up to the internet or to the network. So I just want to make sure y'all feel very comfortable with that, because they are not. They can't be in Texas. Now, other states I can't speak for, but I can definitely speak for the state of Texas and for Walker County. So just want to make sure y'all are all fully aware of that. But anytime you have questions, please come to our office and let us know what we can do for you, because we're here. Information and education is the best thing that we can do for our citizens. So.
That's right, and that information, education is readily available, and it's like I've always said, you can't sit on the couch and expect things to happen. And so I know sometimes we got a lot going on in life, but just get up and talk. Diana's great to talk to. She'll answer your questions. She's not going to go run and hide and say, oh, there's that guy coming again, I better go hide. No, that's what our elected officials do. They're there for you, and I think that's another reason we're so blessed in Walker County, because what other community can you sit down and talk to your assessor-collector the way that you can talk to you, Diana? What other community can you text the mayor and ask him a question? Those things, don't take those things for granted here in Walker County. It's some of the things that make this community so special that you don't have to go through 5 loopholes to get a hold of somebody.
Exactly.
When I first came to Huntsville, I wanted to meet Chief Lunsford, who was the police chief then. I got on the phone. I called the police station. For some reason, I just wanted to meet him and just say, hey, how are things here? I'd like to meet you. Literally one phone call, a secretary said, hold on, he's in his office. And then the next day at 1:30, I met with him, That doesn't happen in a lot of larger counties. And so be very thankful and mindful and grateful that we live in a place to where if you want to talk to somebody, take advantage of that, because you're not going to have... Now, Karen's a different story. If you want to get a hold of Karen, you got to go through 15 different...
I'll be at the credit union.
No, just kidding. You don't have to do that with Karen. Yeah, Karen, I joked around with Karen because I always feel bad because I like to chatter a little bit and say hello. But I know Karen's always real busy, so I'm always real quick, like, hey, Karen, and I don't ever drop in her office because we'll start talking for a while. But that's what makes Huntsville so great. So, well, Diana, so great to have you here. I'm so thankful again that Karen said, hey, let's get Diana on and talk to you. And it was funny because I did mention to Irma, I was like, Irma, we got to get you on sometime. And she goes, oh, no. Let's get Diana on. So Irma's a special friend of mine.
Thank you, Irma.
Yeah, so Irma put you here today, by the way, too. So
Yeah, we've been talking about this for like the last 6 pool days. So, and we just couldn't get it together. Yeah, me too.
see, everything with Karen's measured in pool days.
Yeah.
It's like, man, when did we go out to that steak restaurant? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was 7 pool days ago. Yeah.
I know. I can't.
Oh,
There she is.
Hey, let Irma know I'm disappointed in her because
No tacos.
no, she's okay. Let Irma know I'm disappointed in her this morning because I didn't see the Sam Houston flags flying on her car.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's only a game day ritual.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think
She loves her football and baseball.
she does.
Yeah, maybe that 0-5 dive. We got to turn that truck around, baby, so we'll be all right. Oh, well, Diana, thanks so much for being on today. And again, friends, please reach out to our elected officials such as Diana. She'll be there to help you out and to get out and vote. And, maybe we'll have some sort of and keep us up to date. Maybe we can, have another meet and greet or maybe even we'll host some sort of a lunch and learn or something here at Hello Huntsville to where we have access to several different conference rooms throughout the area. And maybe we can organize something and, we'll provide the lunch and get people out just to learn a little bit more. Would you ever be interested in hosting something like that?
Absolutely.
So we'll try to figure that out. And, of course, this year, all the voting, it's already, if you haven't registered, a little too late this year, but you still got time, of course, for the years coming up.
We have people coming in every day. And even though you've passed the deadline for this election, we still get you registered. And you'll be ready for the primaries. And early voting begins in February. So, it's a quick turnaround. And, as a matter of fact, if the city were to have a runoff, because they have a race that's got 3 people in it, one of their wards, that election is going to be within 1 month of the November 7th. It's going to be December the 9th.
Wow.
So we've got to turn around a city election really quick. So we'll have 30 days to do it. So we're already planning on what that runoff would look like if we have to have one. But hopefully somebody will get 50% of the votes, and that we won't have that. But anyhow, we're
It'll all
preparing
work
for the
out.
future.
Brooks
Every
and
day.
Dunn said it best. Get down, turn around, go to town. Little boot scooting boogie here in Walker County. So
And
we'll
don't ever think anybody that, my vote won't count, because if 50 other people think that, then,
Exactly.
then that's what happens. So please register to vote and use your
show up.
voice and show up and do it.
That's right. Otherwise, my friend, there's a lady in town called Big Mama. Big Mama, she don't mess around. And that's her name, for real. That's what she said. Big Mama told me, too. She's like, Rob, that's one of the first. She goes, you better be voting. I said, yes, ma'am. When Big Mama, Miss Joyce O'Brien, tells you to vote, you better go vote. So we'll step aside, take a break. Such a pleasure to have Diana
so
with
much.
us today. And, again, more information, just go to Google, search for Walker County, Texas elections, and any link that says co.walker.tx.us is an official county link. Go to those links and you'll find out all the information you need. Before we take that break, I want to remind you this morning, the keyword, I'm giving away $25 through Venmo, Cash App, whatever you got. We'll figure out how to get it to you. This week's keyword is crisp. It's a little crisp in the air. And all you got to do is text that in on the Granny Mary's Cajun Asian cuisine. I know it's misspelled. It's a little Louisiana in there. Cuisine. It's kind of like your cousin. You call your cousin cuisine. Cuisine, Sandy, come in down here now. To 936-339-0139.
He's out of control.
Yeah, it's out of control this morning. Text that in, crisp, along with your name to 936-339-0139. We'll step aside, take a break. Karen and I will wrap it up when we come back. It's your show right here. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 $100,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover tomorrow's promise Montessori schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
When you live and work in the town where you were born and raised, lots of people become just like family. I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Over the years, we've shared a lot of good times and some tough times, and I'm honored to be the one you call on in your time of need. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our goal is to help our neighbors in need and always provide the most outstanding service available, even on those really tough days. I thank you for your trust in us. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we're here for you.
All right, Huntsville, back at it on a Monday.
Mimosa Monday.
Mimosa Monday. It was funny, my neighbor growing up, he used to call his mom, I guess it was like a Spanish word for like mom in a way, like you hear like madre, but he would always say like Monday for some reason. And his mom got mad at me one time. Miss Lupe was next door, and Miss Lupe didn't play around. Like, she's that neighbor that will treat you like you're her kids,
right?
Too. Like, you don't be disrespectful. My parents taught me that. But I'll never forget, like, I heard this guy calling his mom Monday, so I went, Tuesday, Wednesday. She's like, oh, she got mad at me. I was like, whoa, sorry, Miss Lupe, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, so... Oh, we're having too much fun today, Karen. But, sadly, we got to go.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to get to that text line because I don't know if I want to give away $25 today. Should I
You already said you would. You got to now.
Should I just backtrack on that?
Oh, and y'all don't forget trivia tonight.
That's right.
You can win $25 there.
Yeah. Maybe I can come and win my $25 back.
You should. You keep saying you will, but you never show up.
I know. I'm just one of those type of people, Karen, say it and then don't do it. And I always say, don't get out and don't talk about it, do it. Or what did I always say?
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah, I made up a rap song about that. I won't sing it for you because it's terrible.
Thank you.
But yeah, don't talk about it, be about it. Yeah, anyways, just kidding. We'll get out. I promise we will get out there one of these days. We just need Caden to get a little bit bigger. I love having children because now I can use them as a reason. We just got to wait for Caden.
Yeah.
We were out there a couple of weeks ago before it started because we had met up before.
You had to go to the game.
To go to the grand opening of the new stadium. Yeah. So, well, let's get over. I know that I'm going to flip my earpiece here, Karen, so maybe that looks kind of goofy. If you want to pick that one up, maybe you can listen on that earpiece there if you want, Karen. And, you can just hold that to your ear. And let's call I don't know if this person has won anything before, but we'll see. Here we go. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Hello. What's the temperature in your neck of the woods right now, sir?
Low 50s.
Low 50s. Where are you located at? This is the National Weather Service calling. We do random phone calls because our thermometers throughout the area are broken. Where are you located at, sir?
Huntsville, Texas.
Woohoo! Great place to be.
Huntsville. That's my co-meteorologist. She's AMS certified Karen. She does this as a part-time job for. She works at Walker County Federal Credit Union, but she volunteers here with the National Weather Service. So So great. What was that temperature again? So we can put that down in our system.
Low 50s.
Low 50s. Any precipitation today?
You're the weather service. You tell me.
Oh, Victor, congratulations, my friend. You've won $25 today, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. Have you texted into the show before?
I've texted in a few times, but my wife has won something from you guys before.
Well, guess what, Victor? You are the winner today, and I will text you a little bit later. And maybe if you have like a Venmo or a Cash App, do you have any of those type of apps?
I have Cash App.
Perfect. There you go. Well, I'll text you, and I'll get your Cash App, and we're just going to send that $25 right to you. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Thank you.
You bet. Karen's got a question for you. We always ask our guests.
Tell us today what you're thankful for.
I am thankful for the beauty of nature that God has designed.
Awesome.
Victor, I love that, man. Well, thanks so much for listening. Hey, how did you find out about us, by the way?
Some of our friends at church listen to Spirit Radio, and they told my wife about it, and she told me.
Awesome. Where do you guys go to church at?
Covenant Fellowship.
Yeah, we had those two gentlemen on the show before. We had two gentlemen from Covenant on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, great, man. Well, hey, Victor, congratulations. Thanks for joining us, and have a blessed day, my friend. And we are not with the National Weather Service, and Karen is not a meteorologist. I just don't want to get in trouble with the government. So,
I think they knew that.
Yeah. All right.
You'll have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Victor.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye. That's cool. I love when we have new guests on the, new guests that text in. So he's a lot of fun, too. I worry sometimes that some folks won't know, and then, we don't have like a dump button to where if something happens, Karen, so I may get in trouble. So, all right.
I thought we were done. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We're just chilling today. Literally chilling in here.
But if you listen to 106.9, sometimes they do that call-in thing and the birthday scam, and people do get upset sometimes. Yeah. So
we won't be doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, I did want to throw this out there before we go. I'm still looking for a sponsor for a secret sound, and this is a really cool idea that I have. It worked really well on some local radio stations in the Austin area, but I want to do a secret sound, and it's going to be a noise that we'll play very briefly, and folks will have a chance to figure out what the secret sound is. And every day that secret sound is not guessed, the money pot will continue to go up. And it'll start out real low, probably $10, $15 a day. But, if it's $10 and somebody doesn't get it in 2 weeks, all of a sudden you're talking about $100. And so if you're a business out there and you'd like to sponsor that, reach out to us. It's a really great opportunity. It's going to be a lot of promotion, and it's going to be a lot of interaction too, because we've seen this work with other organizations. And so if you'd like to sponsor the Secret Sound, just email us at hello@HelloHuntsvilleTX.com. One event that we were talking about, Christmas parade, I think is the next. We were joking around about parades, or I think we're not going to have a Halloween parade. Is there a Thanksgiving parade here in Huntsville?
No, I don't think so. Next one's the Christmas parade, December 2nd.
Boy, we need to organize a Halloween parade and a Thanksgiving parade. Then we'll have every month covered here.
We will.
We're going to outdo the car washes here in Huntsville. So all we got to do is keep having parades. So do we take that up with city council? Can we come to this?
No.
No, don't bug us with that right now. We will not put that on the agenda. Don't worry. So, well, friends, been a good one. Karen, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
As always. Friends, I want to remind you this morning, too, if you're looking for folks that just want to take care of you, that understand you as a person. You're not a number, someone that, when you walk into a financial institution, you want to feel like you're somebody important. You want to feel like there's somebody there that's going to take care of you, that's not going to look at you and say, well, this guy probably doesn't have that, or judge you. The folks at Walker County Federal Credit Union don't do any of that. What they do is they take care of you. They don't judge you. They don't look at you as a number. They look at you as a name. They're right here in the community, one location to serve you. But you know what? One location, but literally a worldwide presence, because you can use their services wherever you are. It's our friends at Walker County Federal Credit Union. So if you don't have an account, maybe you've got a personal account somewhere and you're not happy, come over to Walker County. I guarantee you're going to be happy. If you got a business, we're working on setting up a new nonprofit for our Rays of Hope, and I'm looking forward to that. As soon as we have all that paperwork done, well, guess what? We're going to set up another account at Walker County Federal Credit Union.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
So just think about that today if you're looking for not just your banking needs, but a financial institution that treats you like family. That's our friends Karen and staff over at Walker County Federal Credit Union.
Thank you.
Let's go by and see them. Also want to remind you, if you don't have a church home, check out First Baptist Church. We have Bible study 9:30 and services at 10:45 on Sunday. And if you're a youth, K through 12, I'd like to be in that category, K through 12.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but maybe once in a while. Every Wednesday night is Wednesday Night Live. Gets started about 4:30, and you can reach out to me for more information on that. Friends, as I end every show, I want to remind you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We truly need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll be back at it. We may be early tomorrow because I've got HLI. I got to get with Jason Thompson and see if we can bump the show back. So we may go on earlier if it works with Jason's schedule tomorrow. But until then, good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you next time.